This is Autoline Daily, the show dedicated to enthusiasts of the global automotive industry. Volkswagen is sending shockwaves through the auto industry. It says it will likely have to close factories in Germany, which has never happened in the history of the company. And VW probably won't be the only one to close plants in Europe. Bloomberg reports that 30 automotive factories in Europe, including those from Stellantis, Renault, and others, are operating below their break-even points with little hope of recovering anytime soon. The main problems are too much overcapacity, and the car market in Europe never fully recovered from the pandemic. It typically ran at a 15 million unit SAAR pre-COVID, but this year it will be lucky to hit 13 million. Closing plants in Europe will likely take several years and cost $1 billion per plant, which will go to covering buyouts and other social costs. So the massive disruption that we've been expecting in the auto industry looks like it's starting to get underway. And we think it's also going to hit the US, Japan, and South Korea before it's all over. And VW's problems really started with Dieselgate. And former CEO Martin Winterkorn, who ran the company when the scandal broke, is going on trial today in Germany for fraud. He isn't accused of hatching the plan to cheat. Rather, prosecutors claim he didn't do anything to stop it once he learned about the defeat devices. Those devices tricked regulators into thinking the diesels met emissions during tests, but they shut off in the real world and polluted more than they should have. Winterkorn, along with 4 other VW managers, were originally charged in 2019. But that trial was delayed due to Winterkorn's health issues. The trial is expected to last 12 months, and Winterkorn denies all allegations that he knew about the scam, which cost VW $33 billion in fines and penalties. Is the UAW pushing too hard for wage and benefit increases at suppliers? Suppliers think so, and even some UAW negotiators believe it's going too far. Automotive News reports that the union is pushing for significantly higher wages. In one case, 30% higher for workers at a seat plant run by Lear. But Lear's answer was to bring in more robots and automation, meaning those pay hikes are a risk to jobs in the long run. Higher wages would also probably result in more work being sourced to low-cost countries like Mexico. But this is a real dilemma for auto suppliers. How to balance wages and benefits at the same time they face a stagnant market and shrinking profit margins. Thanks to boosting subsidies for its Cash-for-Clunkers-like program, sales of EVs and hybrids were up strong in China last month. BYD sold more than 373,000 vehicles in August, a 36% gain from a year ago. Li Auto's sales were up 38% to more than 48,000 units. Huawei-backed Series sold more than 36,000 EVs, 5 times more than a year ago, and Leap Motors set a monthly sales record with more than 30,000 deliveries. But despite boosting sales, NIO, Li Auto, BYD, and Xpeng all saw their stock prices drop. Only Leap Motors saw its stock improve after reporting sales. BYD just launched its Song Pro plug-in hybrid SUV in Mexico, and it has a much heftier price tag than it does in China. In China, it costs $17,200, but in Mexico, it starts at $30,200 or 13 grand more. The version available in Mexico features a 1.5-liter engine, a 145 kilowatt electric motor, and a 13.8 kilowatt-hour LFP battery. It has an all-electric range of 71 kilometers or 44 miles. With a price war raging in China, Chinese automakers are eager to export because they can make much higher profits in overseas markets.
Intrepid's NeoVi Pi, allowing automotive engineers to interface, capture, and monitor vehicle data using Raspberry Pi. As a matter of fact, it's the automotive industry's first robust platform for Raspberry Pi, featuring Intrepid CAN-FD technology and Raspberry Pi compute module. The Neovi Pi is designed for automotive environments, allowing use with relative power ranges and applications. In addition, the Neovi Pi enables you to use the Raspberry Pi for compute while avoiding additional development to adapt to network environments. That makes the Neovi Pi powerful enough to solve your vehicle network problems, yet small enough to fit in your backpack. One of many intrepid tools used for developing zonal architecture and software-defined vehicles.
Stellantis says it's not splitting off any of its brands. That's the company's response to Frank Rhodes, the grandson of Walter P. Chrysler, who last week revealed he wants to put together an investment group to buy Chrysler, Dodge, Plymouth, Mopar, and pretty much everything else that goes along with them. Officially, Stellantis acknowledged the interest in its North American brands, but reaffirmed its commitment to those 14 brands and says they have until roughly 2030 to, quote, build a profitable and sustainable business. Volvo is joining a small group of automakers. It's just the fourth that we're aware of that's using a zonal centralized computing system. The only others are Tesla, Rivian, and BYD. Volvo, like BYD, is using NVIDIA's Orin platform. A zonal centralized platform allows automakers to eliminate dozens and dozens of CPUs and miles of wiring. It also makes it much easier to improve all aspects of a vehicle's performance with over-the-air updates. Virtually every automaker in the world is developing a zonal centralized platform, and virtually every one of them is struggling to make it work. This is a key reason why Volkswagen is paying Rivian up to $5 billion to use its platform. Volvo also had to delay the launch of the EX90 electric SUV for a year until it got the bugs worked out. But it seems to have worked most of them out. Now let's dig a little bit deeper into that EX90, which we just had the chance to drive. It's a 3-row SUV, though getting into that third row is a tight squeeze. Prices start around $80,000 and go up from there. Its 111 kilowatt-hour CATL NMC battery provides about 310 miles of range. Volvo is shipping the vehicles with a luminar LiDAR mounted on the roof just above the windshield, though for now it doesn't do much. Volvo hopes to provide a degree of hands-free driving to customers with an over-the-air update, but it did not say when. And it's not going to charge customers a fee or subscription when it becomes available. But this is one of those bugs Volvo is still working on. The EX90 was supposed to launch with these capabilities. In addition to the LiDAR, the EX90 has multiple radars, cameras, and ultrasonic sensors mounted around the vehicle. Inside, the EX90 boasts an extremely quiet cabin with almost no wind noise, even at highway speeds. The windows are not framed, but they do have at least triple sealing to keep things quiet. The UX screen is divided into 3 segments. At the top is the navigation map. The middle segment displays frequently used apps, and the bottom segment is reserved for highly used controls. It's a good layout and relatively easy to learn. Though the EX90 weighs almost 6,000 pounds, it's powerful and quick, with 402 horsepower on tap from electric motors on each axle. A $5,000 software option will bump that up to 510 horsepower. And make no mistake, this is a critically important vehicle for Volvo. The company has put a lot of time and money into developing it, and it's launching just as global EV sales are growing far slower than expected compared to when this program got going. The EX90 will be built at Volvo's assembly plant in South Carolina, since it's mainly targeted at the US market, but it will also be exported all around the world. And by the way, we're going to be posting a number of videos with interviews of people who developed the EX90, so keep an eye out on our website and YouTube channel for those. Audi recently had its first models launch on the all-new electric platform that it shares with Porsche called PPE, or Premium Platform Electric. and now it's launching its first model on the new PPC, or Premium Platform Combustion. The all-new Audi Q5 in Europe will be available with both a gas and diesel 2-liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine and a 3-liter turbo V6 that offers over 360 horsepower. 48-volt mild hybrid technology is standard on all setups, and a plug-in hybrid version will be added later. The interior is based on a new electronics architecture with the infotainment running off an Android operating system. It offers expanded ADAS capabilities, OTA updates, apps like YouTube, and even a display screen just for the passenger. The new Q5 will be built in Mexico and will start at over 52,000 euros in Germany when it goes on sale at the beginning of next year. At a time when most automakers are turning to EVs, Aston Martin is going in the opposite direction and is bringing back an iconic name at the same time. It revealed the all-new Vanquish, which rocks a twin-turbo 5.2-liter V12 under its long louvered hood. The roughly 830 horsepower it produces is fed through a ZF 8-speed automatic gearbox and an electronic limited slip differential. Aston says it will only make 1,000 a year, and deliveries should kick off in the fourth quarter. But that brings us to the end of today's show. Thanks for tuning in.
Autoline Daily is brought to you by Bridgestone, solutions for your journey. Intrepid Control Systems, over-the-air engineering boost your game. MEDC, where Michigan businesses are powering the future of mobility. And by Tejan Automotive Technologies, the formula for better mobility.
Knowing that when it's time to unplug, your tires were built to get you to the place you recharge. That's what really matters. Bridgestone Turanza EV tires with a 50,000-mile limited warranty.
When we did our research for the talent that we need for this program, Michigan was really the top of the list. In order to be successful in this space, you really have to have the right people, the right mindset, the right environment.
There's nothing wrong with heavy metal.
Hey, lighten up.
But with world-class composite material, Tejan Automotive Technologies makes vehicles lighter, safer, and more eco-friendly.